Well, folks, the Supreme Court has done it again. In a move that surprised legal experts and left half the country screaming at their TVs, the highest court in the land has granted Donald Trump full immunity from, well, pretty much everything. The details of the ruling are complex, but the gist is this. The Supreme Court, in a 5-4 decision, decided that a sitting or former president cannot be prosecuted for any crimes committed while in office. This decision has sent shockwaves through the legal and political landscape. Some are calling it a travesty of justice, while others are praising the court for upholding the Constitution. One thing is for sure, this decision will have far-reaching consequences for American democracy. Legal scholars are already debating the long-term implications of this ruling. Comparisons are being drawn to landmark cases in the past, but this one stands out for its sheer impact. The public reaction has been intense, with opinions sharply divided along political lines. As the nation grapples with this unprecedented decision, the future of presidential accountability hangs in the balance. The court's majority opinion, written by Justice, insert name of a conservative-leaning Supreme Court justice, argued that granting immunity to the president is essential for the functioning of the executive branch. They claim that presidents need to be able to make difficult decisions without fearing prosecution. The dissenting justices, however, weren't buying it. They argued that this decision creates a dangerous precedent, essentially placing the president above the law. They warned that this could have a chilling effect on future investigations into presidential wrongdoing. The debate over presidential immunity is a complex one, with valid arguments on both sides. This decision has thrown the upcoming presidential election into chaos. Trump, who was already considered a formidable candidate, now has a significant advantage. His opponents are struggling to articulate how they can hold him accountable for his past actions if he is elected. This decision could also depress voter turnout, as many Americans may feel that the system is rigged in favor of the powerful. The impact on the election is difficult to predict, but one thing is certain: this decision has made an already unpredictable race even more volatile. Section 4. Trump's next move. Capitalizing on immunity. Trump did not waste time in capitalizing on his newfound immunity. This immunity has given him a fresh lease on his political ambitions, allowing him to maneuver with a sense of invincibility. He has already hit the campaign trail, proclaiming his innocence and railing against what he calls a witch hunt by his political opponents. His speeches are filled with fervor, as he seeks to galvanize his supporters. He is using this decision to rally his base and paint himself as a victim of a deep state conspiracy. This narrative of victimhood resonates deeply with his followers, who see him as a champion against the establishment. Trump is also expected to use this decision to attack the Biden administration and the Justice Department, accusing them of being corrupt and politically motivated. He frames these accusations as part of a broader struggle for justice and fairness. It remains to be seen whether this strategy will be successful, but one thing is certain: Trump is a master of exploiting any situation to his advantage. His ability to turn challenges into opportunities is unparalleled in modern politics. Section 5. Supreme Court overreach. The debate rages on. The Supreme Court's recent decision has reignited a long-standing debate over the court's power and legitimacy. This decision has brought to the forefront questions about the balance of power within the American government. Critics argue that the court has become too politicized and is no longer acting as a neutral arbiter of the law. They believe that the justices are influenced by political ideologies rather than legal principles. These critics point to this decision as evidence that the court is more interested in advancing a conservative agenda than in upholding the Constitution. They worry that this trend could undermine the court's credibility and the public's trust in the judicial system. On the other hand, supporters of the court's decision argue that the justices are simply upholding the Constitution as it is written. They believe that the court's role is to interpret the law based on the original text and intent of the Constitution. These supporters argue that the court is not supposed to be swayed by public opinion or political pressures. They emphasize that it is essential for the court to remain independent of the other branches of government to maintain the checks and balances system. The debate over the court's role in American democracy is a complex and multifaceted one, with no easy answers. It touches on fundamental questions about the nature of judicial power, the interpretation of the Constitution, and the balance between different branches of government. Section 6, Trump 2024, a boost from the highest court. So there you have it, folks. The Supreme Court has handed Donald Trump a legal shield that could make him virtually untouchable. The question now is, how will this impact the 2024 election? It's still too early to say for sure, but one thing is clear. This decision has made Trump a more formidable candidate. It's going to be a wild ride, folks. Buckle up.